Welcome back everyone to One Year Whiskey. We're continuing the James E. Pepper series with a counterpart to the rye we covered last episode, the Old Pepper Bottled in Bond Bourbon. Same on-site Kentucky distilling, a much more complex mash bill, and one of the more interesting approaches to blending in modern bourbons. Let's get into it. Released alongside its sibling rye in 2023, the Old Pepper Bottled in Bond Bourbon represents the full maturity of the rebuilt James E. Pepper Distillery program. And I want to highlight something about how this distillery actually operates because it's unusual. The James E. Pepper Distillery produces only about 2,000 barrels per year, tiny compared to the heritage giants. Their corn is 100% locally grown by a single farmer. Their rye and barley are sourced globally for quality, and rather than distilling one standard bourbon mash bill, they produce distinct component recipes, separate mash bills that totally isolate specific historic flavor grains, and then blend those components together to build their final whiskeys. It's a more deliberate, almost architectural approach to bourbon making than most distilleries use, treating each grain's contribution as its own building block rather than mixing everything together from the start. This approach also connects back to Colonel Pepper's own legacy. He was an innovator who pushed the boundaries of how whiskey was made and sold in his era, and this modern blending philosophy feels like a continuation of that same restless, experimental spirit. So what's in the bottle? The mash bill here is a complex custom blend of house-distilled component recipes utilizing corn, rye, malted barley, and malted rye. The core is built around 51% corn blended across high rye malt and high barley malt profiles. Distilled, aged a minimum of 4 years, and bottled at the James E. Pepper Distillery using that same local limestone well water, bottled in bond at 100 proof. MSRP is around $55, and it picked up a double gold medal at the 2023 New York World Spirits Competition right out of the gate. For a complex, multi-component bourbon distilled on a historic site with this level of detail in the process, that's a strong price point. Alright, multiple mash bills, one bottle, let's pour. On the nose, I get the rye spices right up front, but behind it's a nice caramel sweetness. The color is a medium amber, a little darker than I'd expect for a 4-year-old whiskey. In the first sip, wow, this thing brings rye spice, complexity, sweetness, but it's all perfectly balanced. This is one of my favorite pours of the year so far. The finish is fantastic. Everything just gradually calms down in your mouth and just leaves you wanting to take another sip. Old Pepper Bottled in Bond Bourbon, a thoughtful, component-built bourbon distilled entirely on Colonel Pepper's original grounds. At $55 with a double gold medal already in its hand, this deserves way more attention than it gets. As I mentioned, this thing really blew me away. Have you tried this one yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and follow One Year Whiskey for more history behind the bottle, because here, the pour tells the story.